September 19, 1940, 10:47 p.m., room 2601, Wardman Park Hotel, Washington, D.C. An American engineer from Bell Telephone Laboratories stares at an X-ray image, and his hands start shaking. What he's seeing should be impossible. Inside this copper cylinder, barely bigger than a hockey puck, are 8 resonant cavities, but the blueprints the British brought show 6. Someone made a mistake. Or worse, someone's lying. The British scientist, a radar expert named Edward Taffy Bowen, frantically cables across the Atlantic. It's the middle of the night in England, but this can't wait. The most valuable military secret ever transported to American shores might be a fake, and if the Americans discover the deception, the mission that Churchill himself authorized, the desperate gamble to save Britain from Nazi invasion, could collapse in this hotel room. But here is what neither side knew. That mistake, that random decision by a British vacuum tube expert to drill 8 holes instead of 6 would accidentally create the exact device that would win the radar war, and the solution to this crisis would forge the most important technological alliance in human history. This is the story of how 2 unknown physicists built a magic box in a basement laboratory, how it produced 1,000 times more power than anything America had, and why Britain decided to simply give it away.
To understand why this small metal tube mattered so desperately, we need to understand the radar problem of 1940. Britain's chain-home radar system had saved the nation during the Battle of Britain. These massive installations, with steel towers over 100 meters tall, could detect incoming German aircraft at ranges up to 200 kilometers. But chain-home operated on wavelengths between 10 and 13 meters. These long waves meant enormous antennas and poor resolution. The system couldn't distinguish between a single bomber and a formation, couldn't guide night fighters in darkness, and absolutely couldn't fit inside an aircraft. What radar engineers desperately wanted was microwave radar, operating at wavelengths around 10 centimeters instead of 10 meters. Shorter wavelengths meant smaller antennas, sharper resolution, and radar systems small enough to mount in aircraft or on ships. The physics was well understood. The problem was power. American researchers working with klystron tubes could barely produce 10 watts at microwave frequencies. German scientists had similar limitations. The few experimental magnetron tubes produced maybe 100 watts, nowhere near enough for practical radar.